I got my first piece of equipment for this channel. Whoa, that's huge. Hi, I was all excited to break out this new microphone and be a tad bit more professional looking, at least. And I messed up. If you can't tell, it's not working. But I'm still going to use it as a prop for today. I had looked online for a microphone that would be compatible with my phone because that's all I'm using to record right now. And there was a Yeti one that this end that connects to whatever you're using or whatever you're plugging it into had 3 different adapters. So you could do your computer, iPad, or your phone. So I go to the store and this fancier one was on sale for the same regular price as the other one. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'll just get this nice fancy one. I like that it's silver. So just now I unbox it and I pull out the cord and it doesn't connect to a phone. It doesn't have the fancy 3-piece. So it's just going to be a prop for a little while until I can get an adapter or I don't know what I'm going to do because this picture clearly only shows a computer. And I don't really want to record on my computer. So that was a big disappointment and not the way I wanted to get this video started. And this is much bigger than I thought it was gonna be, which is fine. I just surprised. So the reason I decided to get a microphone is so far 3 out of 4 of my videos, counting this one, have been just me sitting here talking. And that's not super exciting. So I was trying to think of some way to make it a little bit more, I don't know, visually appealing, I guess. So I had the thought that if most of my videos were going to be just me sitting here talking, that I should make my setup give it kind of a talk show vibe. So that's why I thought the microphone and then maybe a coffee mug, I don't know. But now that I can't hook the microphone up to my phone, I'm gonna have to rethink some things. Okay, moving on. So the topic of this video is not infertility. Taking a little pause to talk about travel hacking because I am finally getting into that game and I'm so excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am to be getting into this game. So I thought it would be fun to kind of document my experience from the very beginning. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory and hope that this is helpful for anyone who has never heard of travel hacking, who has not yet started. And then hopefully if you are a super experienced travel hacker watching this, maybe you can give me some good tips or advice in the comments. So the backstory is we have just one credit card that is just a plain credit card through our local credit union where we have our checking and savings and auto loan when we have an auto loan. And that's been fine. We do have a balance on it, which I'm not excited about. And it is a combination of things. I know, I don't want this to come out sounding like we're struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, because we're not. We moved, and there were a lot of expenses with moving, and so we put a bunch of stuff on the credit card. And now that we've moved, our mortgage is higher, so our money is just allocated a little differently. I could go on and on about that, but that's not the point of the video. So about a year and a half ago, I started watching a YouTube channel about a couple who travel the world using travel hacking. If any of you have heard of Kara and Nate, they're pretty popular. And I was obsessed. I love their channel. I love their videos. In fact, I just recently, yesterday, started rewatching from the beginning. And along the way, they started explaining how they were able to travel like this. And so that was my first introduction to travel hacking. And you know, my first thought, like a lot of people's, is, oh my gosh, you must be in so much debt. Your credit scores must be horrible. And so I really spent a lot of time finding Facebook groups and blogs and other YouTube channels that kind of explain how to do this without racking up a lot of debt and without ruining your credit score. So I've become a little obsessed. And but after learning how they do it without racking up a lot of debt and ruining their credit score, I knew I had to wait until we pay off this regular credit card to be able to get a rewards card, to be, you know, to avoid racking up all the debt. So I started just kind of bringing it up to my husband, and he had such a negative reaction anytime I brought up travel hacking, and it always ended in a fight. And I always dropped the subject because I knew there wasn't anything that I was going to do about it until we got this credit card paid off. Well, after we moved, there's a lot of expenses that come with moving, and we have had a couple of big expenses since moving, since moving, but also since I've heard about travel hacking. So every time a big expense has come up, I've been so mad that we have not gotten this other credit card paid off, and I can't use these big expenses to get a sign-up bonus. Like, we had our backyard fenced in, and it was $13,000. That easily would have met the requirements for 3 sign-up bonuses. So it made me so mad. And then there's been a couple other things similar that I can't think of right now, but just, it made me so mad. So a couple of months ago, we had a plumber come out and inspect all the pipes, and he reminded us that the water heater was really past its life expectancy, and we should consider replacing it before it broke and there was any damage. So again, I was like, oh my gosh, here's another expense that would meet a sign-up bonus. And we had to wait a few months. Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to get past the holidays before we had this big, huge expense. So while we're going through the holidays and I'm thinking about how can I not waste this opportunity for a sign-up bonus, So I came to the realization that we were going to be putting it on a credit card anyway and taking the money out of savings to pay off the credit card. So why not open a new credit card, get the sign-up bonus, and pay it off from our savings just like we would do on our normal credit card. So I ran that idea by my husband, and he still wasn't very thrilled about the idea, but he let me, well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to make it sound like he's in control of me or anything, but he finally just kind of rolled his eyes and said, okay, fine. If you promise that we're only putting the water heater on it and then it's going in a drawer until we get our normal credit card paid off, then fine. So we got the Citi Premier card, and I gotta tell you, when it came in the mail, I had the biggest smile on my face. I was so excited because I feel like I've been waiting so long to get this journey started. So let me tell you a little bit about this card. Look how pretty it is. If you know anything about travel hacking, or if you have read anything about travel hacking, you know that most travel hackers swear by getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred card first. Like, hands down, everybody that you talk to is like, you have to get this card first. You have to get this card first. You have to get this card first. So let me tell you why I did not follow that advice. Number one, the biggest reason that I didn't follow that advice is because I did my research and I went with my gut. I didn't want to just blindly follow everyone else's advice just because that's what they were all doing. That's how you get yourself into trouble with any kind of money, is you blindly follow someone. So at the time, Citi had their sign-up bonus was at 80,000 points and Chase was only 60,000. So right there, I was like, well, it's 20,000 more points. Why would I want to get 20,000 less points? The other big reason for me was the multipliers. Citi's multipliers include 3 times points on groceries and gas. And right there, that is like where half of our money goes, is to groceries and gas. So why I think Chase was maybe 2 times on one of those, but most of their multipliers were like dining out, and we don't do a lot of that. So again, that's where you get into trouble, is if you have this multiplier that you're like, oh, I want to get those extra points, but if you don't already eat out a lot, then you're going to get yourself into trouble. So the reason that everybody swears by getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred card first, I'm amazed I got that out, is because Chase has a million different transfer partners. So travel hacking really involves continually opening new credit cards, meeting the sign-up bonus, getting that huge chunk of points, and then moving on to the next credit card. So that's why everybody swears by Chase, is because you get this chunk of points that you can use on a ton of different airlines at a ton of different hotels, and it's great. Well, I barely talked my husband into opening this one credit card. I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to get him on board with opening multiple credit cards and playing this game. So I needed something that, if this is the only rewards card we ever have, it's going to really benefit us. Now, what's funny is in one of the travel hacking groups I'm in, I posted a question and I explained my situation. about my husband not being on board, and this might be the only card we ever get. And I still had someone comment and say, no, you're still better off getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. And I was like, well, I don't think so. I'm going to go with my gut on this, and it will probably turn out better than if I blindly followed your advice. So hopefully it will turn out well. The other reason that I like this card over the Chase card is their points are called thank you points. And there are certain categories like travel where you can use your points to erase the purchase. So I could use the card at any airline, any hotel, and use, as long as the purchase is coded as travel, I can use my thank you points to erase the purchase. So that kind of trumps Chase's partners, in my opinion, for me, for my situation. Specifically, one of the trips that I'm hoping to take probably next year is to take my 6-year-old to Disney World. And Disney World is really hard to travel hack. They do have a credit card that you can earn points on to put towards your stay, but it's really like it would take you like 1,000 years to get your stay paid for. Whereas with the thank you points, as long as I pay for the park tickets through a specific website, it is legit. I can use my thank you points to erase that purchase. So again, if that's one of the trips that I'm planning on taking next year, then I need something that is really going to be beneficial to help me pay for it. Now, the 80,000 points that I'm getting as a sign-up bonus equal out to about $800. For me and my son to spend 3 days at Disney World, the tickets are about $800. So right there, I have our park tickets paid for, which I'm very excited about. So that is why I went with the Citi Premier card instead of Chase Sapphire Preferred. If you want to yell at me about it, that's fine. It's not going to change my mind. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I am interested to see, like, once we start using it for all of our daily purchases, it will be interesting to see how quickly the points rack up, if it is something that we could easily do to help pay for travel. Now, I can't picture us doing a lot of travel, especially not when my husband's not on board with getting multiple credit cards, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm very excited. Thank you for letting me take this detour from infertility talk. I do plan on going back to it. Like I said, I just thought it would be fun and interesting to kind of document this journey. And hopefully it won't take too long to get back to using this card.